snowboarding or not?
I gotta say, right now, for all the announcing, the judging is just a lot more stressful, and a lot of these guys are good friends at home, so it's really hard to pass judging when your friends at home without being upset with you if they don't agree. So it's definitely one of those thankless jobs that you're but announcing's a lot more fun than work with you, dude.
I appreciate that. I like working with you too. I've always, the announcing section is always a favorite. I don't think I've ever want to be in there. But what do those judges really look for? What do they look for?
So, one of the big things in this modified Superpipe is progression. Competitors executing new, uncommon tricks, using more technical axes and spins on their rotations. Uncommon and difficult grounds that make those rotations harder, and then just variations of those different tricks and how they put it together. One of the biggest things may be amplitude. They're going to measure how the riders are.
Did you see this yesterday from Val?
Oh, yeah, what did they say? It was 700 something people deep.
Yeah, there's only one lift was open. That was a problem.
That's crazy.
How you go through the course. Execution, always a big thing as well. How long are you going to trick? How long your grabs hold? Are you maintaining control of the period? Holding on to that grab? Are your landings good? And then obviously trick difficulty, how hard your tricks are. If you're doing harder tricks, it's going to be a better run. So having that execution of routing and amplitude on them.
Okay, well, it's not an ordinary Superpipe. We definitely know that. Future has been on the leading front of making sure that we modify the Superpipe. What's the deal with this setup right here?
Yeah, so the first feature you're going to see these riders drop into is a transition to transition in a 10-foot gap in between it into feature number 2, which is a sharp fin transition over a 25-foot gap to like a regular slopestyle landing, and then into a normal Superpipe, 300 feet long, 22 feet high, and just 3 measure right away.
This is so much interesting. The fact that due to they could have put out a regular Superpipe and say, hey, we just have a Superpipe contest, but they stepped it up, made it modified. The riders from last year, everyone seems to be on.
We are bonded by the pursuit of the rush, the edge, the victory. These mighty emotions become a life of their own. Yet, nested inside this competitive manifesto is a powerful balance of the cutthroat requirement to win and the authentic celebration of pure brilliance. This is our strength. This is how we got here. This team of us. This is how we carve the future, own the glory, experience the rush. We share this power of we to inspire the power in you.
It is a glorious Saturday morning in the Rocky Mountains as we welcome you to Copper Mountain, Colorado. This is the Winter Dew Tour 2020, brought to you by none other than Mountain Dew. Alongside snowboarding icon Todd Richards and Tina Dixon, I'm Todd Harris. Glad to have you with us on a beautiful day. Not so much the case yesterday for competition, Todd, but it was a beautiful thing to go powder riding.
It doesn't snow like that in Colorado very often. We were super lucky to be here at the Dew Tour when it came down. 3 feet, they're saying, maybe in excess of 3 feet yesterday. Canceled all competitions, but we were the real winners because we got to ride waist deep pow.
It was unbelievable the way the snow came down, and it just kept coming. And I am with Todd. They said somewhere between 28 to 36 inches of snow over the course of about 24 hours. The folks here at Copper Mountain trying to get those lifts up and running in time because the lines were long. Folks were here. Everyone migrated.
Yeah.
Fortunately for us, I-70, unable to get people through there, so the crowds were not bad at all.
Yeah, what they call it is country club resort riding. It's when the highways are closed, no one can get here. But hey, big shout out to Snow Park Technologies yesterday and the crew here at Copper Parks. I mean, it was unreal the way there's so much snow they had to move. It was crazy. The feat that they've done to get the courses ready for today, hats off to them. They killed it.
And we do appreciate all the grooming and the work the crews did out there, and we appreciate them leaving lots of it ungroomed because we went out, and folks, I kid you not, it was waist deep. It was literally almost too much snow. But now the guys have cleared, the snow has let up, and we are set for an amazing day of competition. This place was founded back in '72, Todd. This is the home of Woodward, which I know you have a close relationship to, but look at the rideable acres, and it's only 75 miles west of Denver. If I-70's open, you're here in an hour and a half.
Yeah, and the progression, the focus on progression here at Woodward Mountain Parks, They have the Woodward Barn, and just what they've got going on here with changing up the format of what you think of is possible with Superpipe competition. The modified Superpipe, you can see it right there in the overview. A lot of different options for these competitors today, and it's going to make things a little bit different. You know, stale snowboard pipe riding, we've seen it. You know, we can call these runs before they even happen. This flips the script on that and provides an opportunity for people to get really creative.
Speaking of being a little bit different, we did it last year. We're going to do it again this year. This is the Snowboard Modified Superpipe presented by Toyota. It is a thing of beauty, folks. You are not going to want to miss the first competition up today, Modified Superpipe.
Modified Superpipe was like this secret that everyone wanted to know about.
You're being thrown into this gigantic monster of a course. You see all these different lines that you can choose, and there's just so much information coming into the brain. Oh man, I gotta figure this thing out.
Something fresh is always fun. People are able to push their snowboarding because the terrain allows them to.
You go to these big events and it's typically the same setup. And for me, like, it gets a little bit boring. I really get stoked on the progression of changing the course.
That's been a really cool thing to watch, everyone kind of finding their own niche, because obviously no one wants to do the same things.
It leads to a whole new level of creativity that we never thought was possible.
I have no clue what I'm going to do out there yet, but that's the beauty of this thing.
Amazing day of competition ahead here at the Dew Tour, Copper Mountain, Colorado. We'll start things off with the Women's Snowboard Modified Superpipe presented by Toyota. If you don't know what a Superpipe is, well, just lay back. We're going to explain it to you. You take a world-class 23-foot walled Superpipe, and then you add some things to it, Todd, and you put in someone like a Matty Mastro, and it's unlimited what they can do.
Yeah, and you definitely have to rethink the way that you concentrate on lines in here. It's not just back-to-back. There's jump sections in this, there's hips, and then you get into the more traditional Superpipe where a person like Matty Master could potentially unleash the double crippler that won her, got her on the podium last weekend in Mammoth.
Quick look at the diminutive Spaniard, Geralt Castellet. As we get a look at some of the athletes preparing, it is going to be an 8-woman field, and they will get an opportunity to go in and show what they can do in this modified Superpipe. The conditions, Todd, could not be much better as the skies have cleared, temperatures starting to come up, and here are the start lists for the 8 women who made the Superpipe. Sunny Alba gets in, the youngest competitor here at 13 years of age out of Mammoth by way of San Pedro, California. Summer Fenton, Zoe Kloppos, Brooke DeHunt, 14 years of age, Todd, and then you go on to the heavy hitters, Haruna Matsumoto, Yamamoto, Lu Xiaoyu, Corault Castellet, and Matty Mastro, the #1 qualifier, will have the last say. All right, Todd, format simple, except you got to negotiate this mammoth creature that is called the modified Superpipe.
All right, so you get 8 riders, 3 runs, best of 3. It's all based on overall impression. That means you've got to be technical, you've got to be stylish, you got to land your stuff, and you got to go big. There's a lot of different options in here. The winner is going to be the person who best utilizes all these features and puts together a back-to-back run full of insanity.
Todd, you were a former pro, you were a snowboarding icon. As we take a look at it one more time, we're going to go through the GoPro course preview and give you a bird's eye view of what it's like to drop in to the belly of the beast.
So the last couple of years, there's been these new modified Superpipe events.
The difference between the Superpipe and the modified Superpipe is huge.
The features are very technical, different.
So you start off with these 2 quarter pipe channel to hip landings,
which kind of flows you into a quarter pipe step up jump.
It's kind of like Mach 10.
And then you drop into your standard half pipe for 3 or 4 hits or whatever you can squeeze in.
You gotta find your line, that's the most important thing. Something that feels good, that's gonna link really well with all of the features and your tricks.
Dude Tour has really been one who's made it their only transition event, which is pretty cool.
It just creates more room for progression.
As we all ride it, we kind of take a little bit from each other. It's a little bit of a blank canvas out there in a lot of ways.
The whole thing is pretty hard, top to bottom, to be honest.
And that is your GoPro course preview here at the Snowboard Modified Superpipe presented by Toyota. Beautiful look at Copper Mountain and the main village as we look high from above. It is going to be a gorgeous day for competition. We're going to be in the pipe. We're going to be in the slopestyle course. Conditions not much better because it is rock solid. For more on that and the headlines, the athletes that will be competing here at the Winter Dew Tour, we check in with the 3rd member of our team. Here is the one and only Tina Dixon.
Yeah, thanks, Todd. Absolute ideal conditions out here for a half-pipe competition. Now, so far this season, we have already seen some big tricks from the riders, including Corault Castellet with the back-to-back 900s. Matty Mastro just landed that double crippler for the first time this year in Mammoth Lakes, California, so she's coming in with a lot of momentum. But the question today is how do they incorporate those big tricks into a modified Superpipe? So these riders are going to be forced to adapt, forced to do new lines and potentially ride out of their comfort zone. But it also gives us an idea or chance to see a more versatile rider. And it also gives us the opportunity to be introduced to new names like 13-year-old Sunny Alba. Todd.
This is none other than Sonora, known as Sunny Alba 13, now out of Mammoth Mountain by way of San Pedro, Todd, and she is dropping into a heavy winter competition at the ripe old age of 13.
Well, you know, this is practice right now, just showing you what the potential is here. You can just kind of see how these riders are starting to work it out. Those features up top, that's going to be the big equalizer. But it's really cool to see someone at this young of an age be able to handle the pressures of competing at such a high level. And maybe, you know, she's just kind of like not even really aware. You know, she just goes out there and rips because that's kind of what you do at that age. You get really focused and you want sugar and you want to go out there and rip.
Good look at the modified Superpipe there from the base. The temperature right around 36 degrees, and it should climb close to 40 today. Partly cloudy skies, wind picking up just a little bit out of the west-southwest at 20, but they're very protected there. It's one of the best Superpipes, Todd, and as they kick things off, usually in the competition season in December, one of the first Grand Prix is here, which was the case this year in 2019 and 2020.
Yeah, Copper does such an amazing job of creating these rideable features on the hill. Not only do you have like the Woodward Park set up, you've got Danny Davis's Super Park, and now we have this modified Superpipe for these riders to get creative in.
We are almost set for the top 8 women to drop in on their 3-run format here at the modified Superpipe. Todd, the one woman that is not here, she is hard at work in Princeton, New Jersey. That is none other than the gold medalist Chloe Kim. we've talked about this before. It leaves a big vacuum in the women's competition, but now we're seeing these 13 and 14-year-olds pick it up.
Well, it really does. It leaves a chance for some other people to shine, and maybe that's what they need. They need that spotlight on them to really come in, and maybe it'll force Chloe Kim back to competition and be like, meh, just going to blow in and pick up some big oversized novelty checks.
Let's find out exactly what Chloe Kim has been up to over the course of the last 4 months.
The snowboarding environment is just fun, you know, everyone's there having a good time, but then it was like, I feel like I needed to step out and go into the real world for a second, which I really needed to do, and I'm really happy I did. I'm not always going to be snowboarding for the rest of my life, especially not competitively. However, I always felt like I wanted to do something bigger outside of snowboarding. Me giving up those 6 competitions for 1 season to be able to find the other part of myself was far more valuable. I hate wasting time, so I feel like here I'm like being very efficient. You go to class, you study, come back home, study some more, have fun, hang out with friends, get meals with friends, and then you go back to your room, study more, and then sleep. See, I just learned a lot about myself when I came here because I was like, wow, I've lived in a bubble till now, and that's crazy to me. If all goes well, I think they see me as an example of someone who is able to do both, and that you can still compete at a high level and also get an education. Straight B student.
Beyond the bib with Olympic gold medalist Chloe Kim getting a world-class education at Princeton. As we get ready for the women's snowboard modified Superpipe presented by Toyota. There you see the start list yet again, and we're going to kick things off in typical Dew Tour fashion, pushing progression. We're going to launch a 13-year-old into the final. This is Sunny Alba out of Mammoth Mountain by way of San Pedro, California. Todd, she's going to get the honors of dropping in first, and this is not a forerunning situation. She is in the competition as a full-fledged member of this final.
That's right, and just a reminder, 3 runs, best of 3. The top half of this course, this is where things get really interesting. This is where you can show your diversity, the way that you look at this course. Everyone's going to have an individual line in here. You've got those 2 big channels and those hip gaps onto the big landings. It's kind of like hitting a straight jump in the middle of your snowboard run, of your snowboard halfpipe run. And then it drops into the regular 22-foot deep Superpipe section, which is basically your back and forth. So here we go.
Sunny Alba getting things started off here in the modified Superpipe presented by Toyota, the first athlete to drop in, carrying a lot of speed.
So up and over that channel, you see right there, that's where you kind of gap into that landing and then straight into the Superpipe portion. So looking good so far. She's going to be setting off the, the scale for the judges to judge upon as well. So she got 3 hits in the Superpipe portion. Those 2 hits up top, though, I think are where it's going to be really important. If you can set yourself apart from the rest of the field on those upper, like the real modified portion of the Superpipe, that's where you're going to get those big points.
Big smile on her face as she makes it down top to bottom for Sunny Alba. Again, 13 years of age, into the final for the women's modified Superpipe.
So started things off with that backside air gap and then over into the frontside air, into that landing. And then that was straight into the back-to-back portion of the modified Superpipe, the traditional portion of the modified Superpipe. Frontside 540, gets a little grab there. Nice and smooth, top to bottom. That's the way you get a final started. You want to see the first person come down, make it. Basically what you're doing is you're providing the stoke for the rest of the competitors to come down and put on a show.
So Sunny Alba able to get from top to bottom. And no major pitfalls there for her. Negotiating that top portion, Todd, and then getting into the flow of a normal Superpipe run. That's going to be a little bit challenging, especially at the age of 13. So Sunny Alba waiting for her score to drop here at Copper Mountain as we get underway with a fantastic day of competition. We'll have slopestyle, we'll have ski, we'll have the Superpipe going on for both the men and the women. And we are 1 run into today's event. Todd, I think the judges are really taking their time on this first one because it's going to set the bar.
Yeah, and it's important because it's not your typical judging criteria. You've got a lot more stuff to look at than in a traditional Superpipe competition.
So 62-3-3. Todd explained the format being 3 runs. Only your best run counts. Summer Fenton now set to drop in. 25-year-old originally from San Francisco, California.
She's choosing to come in over the gap, backside 540 tail grab over that channel. And then here is the hip feature. Just a little lean air in there, throwing the brakes on into the normal Superpipe part. So we've seen some pretty heavy moves up top so far. Air to fakie on her backside wall into a switch backside 540. Summer Fenton putting some technical tricks back to back, ending things off with a 720 and just sliding out. So unfortunately for her on that last hit, not able to stay upright. But up top, that was a good line. The backside 540 tail grab over the channel, into the lean air off the hip, into that big landing, and then putting some technical back-to-back tricks in the pipe. The air to fakie on the backside wall, you don't see that very often. Into the switch backside 540. Unfortunately for her, that one last hit. There's that lean air into that landing. Perfect execution on that one. Throws the brakes on a little bit. Here's that switch backside 540 tail grab. That's the mirror image of the tail grab 540 she did over the gap up top. And then this is where things went a little bit south. Clipping the deck a little bit on that 720. So she's got 2 more runs, though, to bring it in.
Now the score comes in as a 31, just behind what Summer Fenton laid down, a 62.33. That'll be a throwaway for her. And you are looking at Zoe Kalapos, originally from Detroit, Michigan, now residing just up the road, I-70 in Vail, Colorado. Learned to ride back in Detroit, Todd. Not a lot of big mountains there, so they built a little mountain in the backyard called Mount Kalapos. And there she is, all the way from Mount Kalapos to the Dew Tour and Copper Mountain. So we get set to watch Zoe drop in, and Zoe Kalapos is getting set to make her first move.
And there's been a common theme recently in snowboarding. It seems like the smaller the mountain, the less giant terrain you have, kind of the better you are at rails and jumps. A lot of Midwestern riders coming out of like Trollhagen,
right?
And you know, even the Yagoons coming out of Rhode Island, Yagoo Valley. That place, there's nothing there, so you can make something out of nothing if you want to. Frontside alley-oop over the channel. Here we go into the hip right here. Almost like what was that, a little Stelmaski grab, kind of in between the legs right there. And then into this Superpipe backside 540 stalefish. To a frontside 720, gets that lean grab. A little Pop-Tart on the backside wall, and that'll do it. Okay. So top to bottom, full make.
Todd, are you getting a sense that a lot of these athletes are taking this first run as a conservative, let's just get a feel for this modified Superpipe?
Yes and no. I think more importantly, it's, you know, they had practice, and then you sit around up there in the start gate and you wait. So you kind of have to get that adrenaline going again. And if you don't compete in these kind of competitions, it's kind of hard to describe the feeling of having an energetic practice session and then just having to stall out that energy and just sit up there and wait for your turn. So I predict now we're going to see things start to heat up a little bit. And Zoe comes with this nice frontside 540, stalls, frontside 720, I should say, stalls out that lean grab at the end. There it is, went there again. Kind of stalls out, pokes it out. So, great run for her, top to bottom.
Zoe waiting for the score. She's better than a 62.33 to move into the lead. And the score coming down for Zoe Kalapos in a moment as we give you the bird's eye view of the modified Superpipe here. A beautiful day to come out and make some turns at Copper Mountain, and make sure you stop by the modified Superpipe and get a watch of the best women in the world competing. An 80. So Zoe Kalapos goes right to the top of the board, setting the new mark to beat.
That's got to feel pretty good. A couple more runs to go on that. You already posted up an 80 on your first run.
You are looking at Brooke DeHunt out of Canada by way of Calgary. She's 14, so we've had a 13-year-old drop. Now it's Brooke dropping in as 14-year-old. And the mark to beat will be an 80 laid down moments ago by Zoe Kalapos of the USA.
And you know, these riders are just going to get younger and younger. And just to kind of keep the theme going, it's facilities like what Woodward offers here in the Woodward Mountain Parks here at Copper, because basically they provide a safe opportunity for progression for these riders, and you're going to see them get younger and younger and be better and better. So great opener for her up there, that big alley-oop 360 into that hip landing. Very cool, nice unique lines, backside 540 at the bottom. So Brooke, strong run, some big spin off of that hip into that landing. The melon backside 360 kind of alley-oop style. This is how you want to get things started off. Here is, let's see, the alley-oop 360. Let's go up a little bit early, but still manages to make that landing. There's a lot of pop up there. You got to be ready for it as it pops you into that landing. Nice execution on that method air. Kicks that tail up above her head. Frontside 540, gets that grab, holds onto it the rest of the way through the rotation, and then sets up for that.
How about this view?
Backside 5. Yeah, the bird's eye view of the modified Superpipe. You can really see how tiny the rider is compared to the gigantic walls of this thing.
22-foot walls. It looks like an ant in the bottom of the Grand Canyon. As Brooke DeHunt, the 14-year-old, finishes up her run. Todd, a full pull top to bottom. The mark to beat right now is at 80, put up by American Zoe Kalapos in the 3-run format. 14. That's going to reiterate that again. 14. 75 on her opening run of 3 for the Canadian. A solid first run for Brooke.
75, and she's coming up. This is the year for her. She made it.
We'll keep the international theme going here at the modified Superpipe presented by Toyota. We've seen the Americans, we've seen the Canadians, and now we turn our attention to the land of the rising sun with Haruna Matsumoto, the 26-year-old out of Sapporo, a hotbed for great snow riding as she brings her abilities here, fresh off a bronze medal performance at the X Games.
So obviously she's going to be hitting to the right of your screen first over this channel. She's going to go frontside over that. She got big lean air up and over the channel. That looks so fun just to clear that. Alley-oop, almost over-rotating, but holding on to it, keeping her line consistent.
Todd, is it easy to get lost in that upper section?
900. I don't know about getting lost. It's going to be hard to make sure that you keep your speed up, especially off of the shark fin feature kind of into that hip. That's the big determiner of how much speed you're going to have coming into the first hit. So here's the channel gap right here. Nice lean air. Oh, guy shoots here across the road from Copper Mountain. And then here's that frontside 900, misses the grab, almost pulls it off, leans a little bit too hard on the heels and washes out in the flat. But foreshadowing of things to come for her.
So Matsumoto will look to runs 2 and 3. This 19.66 will be her throwaway for sure, as she looks to do better things on her second and third run. You are looking at the modified Superpipe presented by Toyota here at Copper Mountain, Colorado. This is Dew Tour 2020 as we have reached the heavy hitters in the women's final. 3 more to drop in on run number 1 of 3. We'll kick things off with Lu Xiaoyu, then it'll be Carol Castellet, and Maddie Mastro will have the final say. Lu Xiaoyu of China, 27, comes to us by way of where the test event is being held for the 2022 Olympic Games in Secret Garden.
Yeah, and Jai she's so strong in her riding, and her style has really changed after she brought home a medal from the Olympics. Basically, the Chinese national team gave her the opportunity to just go and forge her own path in professional snowboarding. So she moved over here to the U.S. She's been training here, kind of just finding her unique style, and she really wants to become her own figure in snowboarding and not be part of that the Chinese national team. And you can see that she's doing such a great job of it. Strong hawk and flip, the inverted 720 to end off that run. Strong up top as well.
Well, you talk about the athletes that may step up to fill the void left by Olympic gold medalist Chloe Kim. Put the name Lu Xiaoyu right at the top of that list.
And I'll say this, like last year when Danny Davis did his Super Park at Boreal, she kind of really showed up and showed everyone that she is a force to be reckoned with, not only in a Superpipe competition, but also in jumps. Very adaptable to situations here. Look at this right here. Full control in the air. Gets that little bone out of the back leg there. Straight into a nice frontside 720 stalefish. So able to combo back to back. There's the inverted 720. Nicely done. Up on her feet, nice and smooth, in between all the features, a lot of control.
So the mark to beat right now, Zoe Kalapos has an 80, Brooke DeHunt sits in second, and an 87.66 becomes the new mark to beat, put up by China's Lu Xiaoyu.
That is a big score there, but I do not disagree. She was so smooth all the way down through the...
This is Carol Castellet. You want to talk about experience? Look at that resume. Gold medal at the X Games just 2 weeks ago, a 2-time Dew Tour champion, not to mention a 4-time Olympian. Todd, I know you love watching her ride, and there's always that thought of she's either going to win this thing or she's going to crash hard.
But I like that in snowboarding. I think you're putting it all on the line. As Corral comes in here to the first hit, alley-oop over the channel, carrying that speed up into the hip feature. Obviously landed that. I have no idea what was going on there. Coming into the first hit, Corral, big frontside 900. This is her strength. Is she going to back it up with another 9? Nope. Big backside 5. One more hit, and she opts out. I think she kind of left a little bit to be desired there. I like to say that left a little meat on the bone.
She got a little sketch as she came into that very first hit at the top of the modified Superpipe. Looked like it might have thrown her off her line just a little bit or sapped some speed. She's diminutive at 5 feet, Todd, maybe 100 pounds on a good day for her, so she's not carrying a lot of freight as she drops in and tries to build that momentum, but that's a strong run for her to open things up of 3.
I want to see that replay again just because the camera angle was a little off. She gets a little bucked right there, but that alley-oop over the channel, didn't quite get the grab. Then lines it up here for that shark fin hip feature. Let's see what she's got. Nope, we're not going to see it. Oh, there we go. So just a big method error over there. Oh, I like that. Not a style. And then it was straight into that giant frontside 900. A lot of height, perfect execution on that one. Straight into the backside 540. Kind of missed the grab there and maybe left one hit in the pipe. She could have squeaked in just maybe a frontside air down there at the bottom. But damage was done up top. Big frontside 900. A lot of height out the top of the pipe. And then into that backside 540. And you know what Corral lacks in her size, she definitely makes up for it with going huge. I'll tell you what, yesterday for her, that snow was real deep for a person that's only 5 feet tall.
It was 2 Corral Castellets deep here at Copper, and she waits for her score to drop in. Remember, Lu Xiaoyu leads so far here in run number 1 of 3 with an 87.66, and Corral's going to go into 3rd with a 77.33. There's the shot of the start house here at Copper Mountain as we are 1 run into the women's snowboard modified Superpipe presented by Toyota. The last woman to drop in will be the number 1 qualifier. This is Maddie Mastro, the 19-year-old originally out of Wrightwood, California. She's a regular footer. It means left foot forward. And there you see some of her accomplishments. She's an Olympian at the age of 19, bronze medalist last year at the Worlds in Park City. And here is Maddie Mastro making her first move.
So the question is for Maddie Mastro, she has that double crippler. She's the only female competitor to do the double. Will she put it down at the bottom early on in the comp? Frontside stalefish alley-oop over the channel. What does she got here? Big alley-oop 360.
60 over the hips for Maddie.
Here she comes into the pipe. This is going to be a lot of style on her tricks. Beautiful execution on that method air. Kind of waiting for the setup here. There's where she's going to do the double. She didn't do it this run. Backside 540, and she is out. So she left the potential. The door is open for her to pull off the double later on. She's kind of just gauging it, see what the judges give her.
Remember, it's a 3-run format. Only your best score counts. So that's kind of what you'd call maybe for Maddie Mastro a feeler.
Yeah, that was a feel-out run. So here comes that alley-oop. Frontside alley-oop. Stalefish over the channel. And then there's the alley-oop 360. Gets that mute grab in there. And then comes into the pipe. I really like this method air right here. Perfect execution on it. Watch as she just kicks that back leg up and over. Kind of stalls it out there. Someone got a good Graham shot.
I was going to say,
right
if someone's looking for some good advertising, that might be the one.
It's the Graham shot right there. That one will be in the brochure next year. And then goes straight into the inverted crippler. Now, later on in this competition, if she's forced to, that could potentially be a double. 2 times up and over inverted.
87.66 is the number Maddie Mastro is looking for, but she doesn't have to get it all here. She will have the last run of this competition, 3-run format. Lu Xiaoyu of China leads the way with an 87.66. And Todd, the big question I think as you posed is, will we see the double crippler? She drops a 90. Maddie Mastro on run number 1 vaults into first place.
Maddie Mastro Might not even need to bring that.
So Maddie Mastro leads the women after one run with a 90. Lu Xiaoyu in second, and Zoe Kloppa sitting in third with an 80. But Mastro dropping a heavy hammer here in the Rocky Mountains at Copper Mountain, a 90 on run number 1. We will be back to Copper Mountain for much more of the 2020 Dew Tour built by Mountain Dew as Maddie Mastro feeling it early here in the modified Superpipe.
Always having a good time, catching fun. What's up, DC?
Beautiful day at Copper Mountain, Colorado, as we take a look at the modified Superpipe presented by Toyota. The women have the say to kick off an amazing day of competition all day long here at the Dew Tour 2020. So Maddie Mastro, Todd, comes down, and what we thought was a feeler run drops the hammer with a 90. The judges like it.
Yeah, the judges did like that, but I think there's still going to be room. They've left room. They didn't give her some crazy score. There's going to be a lot of room for these riders to push up that score and bump it up to the upper 90s, especially if Maddie unleashes the double crippler.
This is Sunny Alba, the 13-year-old out of San Pedro, California, now riding in Mammoth Mountain. Got the late edition last night, and here she is on her second run. Remember, Sunny laid down a 62.33 on run number 1. And Todd, she's probably getting the feel of this modified Superpipe and carrying a lot more speed this time.
She's got a lot of style. I'll tell you that. Like, stays compact, nice and quiet across the flat bottom. Great execution on her tricks. She's got a big future. I mean, being that young, it's kind of hard to tell like what she's going to turn out to be as a rider. That's just so young.
Can she get into a PG-13 movie?
No, do they even have PG-13 movies anymore? I think you're dating yourself, Harris.
She's 13, so yes, she can.
Yes.
Sunny Alba, 62.33. The mark to beat is a 90 as we get the bird's eye view from high above the modified Superpipe. All right, Todd, let's take this look one more time. Style.
Yeah, it's all about the style. I mean, that's pretty much what snowboarding is all about. It's where it came from. So check it out right here. Back-to-back tricks. Gets that melon 5, gets on the last rotation, grabs their front hand between her back binding, or her front binding on her heel side edge. A lot of style from this youngster. It's going to be interesting to see what happens in the next couple of years with her.
This piece of videotape may be something in about 10 years when she's ripping it in the Olympic Games as she improves upon her score. Sunny Alba goes to a 70.66, so a nice jump from 62 to 70, and she's now in 6th.
Smile on her face. Good to see that.
Yeah, like you said, Brad,
Well, the conditions could not be much better here at Copper. The sun is out. They did a fantastic job of grooming. They had the pipe dragging in, cutting it freshly. The modified Superpipe looking good. Summer Fenton had some issues on run number 1, but remember, folks, it's a 3-run format. This could all go away. She's sitting on a 31, so a long way from Maddie Mastro's 90.
Here she comes into the channel gap. Backside tail grab, 540. Then comboing that over here into the hip. There's that lean air again. Very similar run to what we saw from her in the beginning. So here comes, this will be the air to fakie on her backside wall, setting her up for that switch backside 540. Now this is the mirror image of what she did over the channel up top. down here into the bottom. That's where she had problems her first run and the second run once again. So run number 3, my suggestion, switch that up a little bit so you can stay on your feet.
So Summer Fenton clipping the deck for the second run in a row, which means it'll all come down to her third and final run. Todd up top, carrying a lot of speed, looking good over this channel gap.
I like that. Spinning over that channel gap, backside 540 tail grab. And then there is the mirror image, the switch backside 540 tail grab. Didn't actually get the grab on that one. And then here's where she had a problem. She had a problem. Run number 1 and run number 2 can't get that 720 around.
Contrary to popular belief, that is not Mountain Dew that they sprinkled on the Superpipe at the bottom. That is just green dye, and she's not going to improve. So Todd, she has to hold on to the 31, and she can throw that 24 away with one more run to go. Zoe Kalopoulos now set to drop in. Young lady out of Detroit, Michigan, now residing just up the road in Vail. And she picked up an 80, and that was the leading mark until the heavy hitters came out with Maddie Mastro and Lu Xiaoyu when they dropped 87s and 90s respectively. And here she is making her first move.
Nice frontside alley-oop over the channel. And then over the shark fin feature, the hip. And then here we go into the traditional Superpipe, backside 540.
Todd, I asked you earlier about getting lost in that upper section. Is it such a controlled thing that you're so used to dropping into a conventional Superpipe that you get up top and you think, oh, I've got to kind of slopestyle this thing?
Yeah, a little bit, and your lines are much different too. You're not just going straight back and forth pendulum style. You have to kind of line it up, find out where your speed is. You see right here that frontside alley-oop, up and over, rotating the opposite way that your body is going down the hill. There's that lean air into the landing of that hip style jump. And unfortunately for Zoe down the bottom having some problems.
Right.
But yeah, it can be a little bit confusing, especially like when the tricks start to become bigger.
Right.
You're carrying a lot more speed and you need to make sure that you make these landings so you don't overshoot anything. Because once you get into the regular portion of the Superpipe speed, you need to carry all that momentum from the upper section in there to make it really count.
Smile on the face of Zoe Kalopoulos. She'll throw away that 35 and hold on to the 80, which has her in a podium position for now. Brooke DeHunt now set to drop in, part of that youth movement at 14. Remember, Sunny Alba, who goes first, is 13. So coming off a huge performance, Todd, in Aspen just 2 weeks ago at X Games, where she finished in 6th place, and that's a heavy contest.
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure going on for someone of this age. But check this out, kind of working it a little bit differently. She comes over the channel, then basically does a big surf bottom turn straight up into that hip. So just working that front side section up top. The backside air into a frontside 900, going for it, knowing that she needs to stack some tricks here to potentially bump herself up in the standings.
So the 14-year-old having issues on the last, but you've got to respect that she was going for a big trick at the bottom right in front of the judges.
And I kind of do like the way that she approached the top here, because she's just like, look, this is kind of a slope-style feature. Watch this, lands. Bottom turns off that same side of the wall, doesn't kind of go to the other side like a typical half pipe. And then here's where the problem was. The big frontside 900, knew that she needed to put something heavy down. Goes for it. A little bit too much weight on her tail and washes out.
So Brooke's second run score is not going to be an improvement. She will look to the third and finals. We look at Haruna Matsumoto out of Sapporo, Japan. Bronze medalist at the most recent X Games, so made a quick drive over to Copper Mountain, and she is set to go. Now, she had some issues early on, Todd. 19.66 is the only score she garnered, and she is a long way from Maddie Mastro's 90.
So she comes. Frontside first, over the channel. Frontside air. Then into the hip. She's going to go alley-oop frontside air into the big hip. Not trying to keep that speed up. And that was a perfect illustration of how important it is for you to keep your speed up. Now getting that 900 backside 540, kind of working it now. Trying to make up for whatever she kind of left on the table on the upper section. Yeah. So great traditional Superpipe portion of this course. However, I think she came up a little bit short on that alley-oop 360 into that landing. She could have gone a little bit bigger over the channel as well, but definitely made up for that in the pipe. There's that frontside 900, didn't quite get the grab. Slow motion does not lie. Backside 540, kind of missing the grab as well. Chunking up the green dye. As you said, the Mountain Dew. Really pulling the curtain back there.
Traditional Dew.
Here I was. I thought that was Mountain Dew the whole time.
So it'll be an improvement, Todd, of her 19.66 that she had on run number 1. I don't think it's going to get her near the podium, which would be better than an 80 to get her on top. Haruna Matsumoto looking for something to build on for her third and final run, and this will work. 72.33 for the Japanese rider, which moves her up into 6th place. Top 3 competitors set to go now. Lu Xiaoyu currently sitting in 2nd place with an 87.66. As Todd mentioned, kind of breaking away from the Chinese national team, doing her own thing. And Todd, I think it's a great opportunity for her coming over and mingling with some of the American athletes, finding out how they prepare, how they get ready for a contest, and it's really shown in her riding.
And, you know, something that this is the biggest thing is that when you are kind of plucked from a different sport, trained in snowboarding to basically get medals, and then you're introduced to snowboarding, the joys of riding powder, and what snowboarding is really all about, it completely changes your perspective on what this sport can give you. Nice! 540 into that hip landing. Now we're talking. This is really going to put the pressure on Maddie Mastro. Big frontside 720. Jai is working this. This is going to move her into the lead easily.
She's better than a 90 to move into first. Lu Xiaoyu of China, 27 years of age, and really showing her love for the sport. That was a beautiful full pole top to bottom.
So frontside 360 over that channel, setting her up for the 540. Look at this right here. Okay, so comes in, stylish frontside 360, sets herself up, switch 540 off the hip section. This is basically like hitting this like a straight jump in the park. 540 gets the melon grab, stays on her feet, and then just puts together some linkage here in the pipe. Big 720, combos that into the inverted switch 720. That's the way you do it. That's going to be a big score. A lot of travel on that one. Great execution as well. Style, the whole thing was there.
Well, she was already sitting in 2nd place with an 87.66. She needs better than a 90 to move into first place. There it is, 92, just like Todd Richards dialed it in.
Done it right here.
Lu Xiaoyu, the new leader in the women's modified Superpipe.
Always going to make things a little better.
Were you going for the double grab there?
So she's got to feel real good now. That
Telling DC in perfect English exactly what she was looking for, a 92. So as you said, Todd, putting the pressure on the rest of the field like Carole Castellet, who's set to drop in now. Carole had some issues on run number 1, got a full pole, but really had some areas she could clean up, sitting on a 77.33.
So Carole, she has a big bag of tricks. She just needs to kind of tap into that. Here's that alley-oop. Much bigger this run, landing up high, carrying a lot of speed. Big frontside 360. Oh, unfortunately not able to land on her edges, kind of lands flat-based and washed out. So this will be a throwaway for her. Run number 3 is going to be all or nothing for Carole Castellet.
Todd, she's sitting in 4th place right now with that 77.33. To get into 3rd, she needs better than an 80. So she might have to go back up and rethink her run. Or do you think it's a case of just clearing that one gap and landing cleanly on that flat?
Well, she's got a really good coach, and I'm sure they're going to have some conversations up top. I think, you know, she fell on that alley-oop 360. She might not need it. If she can just do a big backside air, big method air over there into that hip, and then do the big 900, and then potentially back that up with the backside 900 in the pipe, because I know that she has that combo line, then we could be talking about a potential run for the top spot.
Gets a 15 on that 2nd run, which keeps her in 4th place. All right, here we go. This is Maddie Mastro, the last athlete to drop in here on run number 2.
She needs it. She's
talking to her coach about what she needs here, Todd, thinking it is this the time for her to unleash the double crippler. Currently sitting in 2nd place with a 90. Lu Xiaoyu of China sits in 1st with a 92. And remember, all these athletes have a 3rd and final run to go, but Maddie Mastro thinking maybe now is the time to do it. Maddie Mastro, the young American, set to drop in here in the women's modified Superpipe. Mastro getting set to make her first move.
All right, all eyes will be to the 2nd hit in the traditional portion of the Superpipe. Will she do the double? She's kind of being forced right now by Jai Lu of China. Oh, Maddie goes down hard.
Oh. And she's going to shake it loose and see if she can't
James Jackson, her coach, looking on.
Concern.
A little bit of a stinger right there. Tried to do a nice frontside 720 up and over that channel.
So if she's able to ride on her third and final, it'll come down to that. She's going to need better than a 92 to take the win. Lu Xiaoyu sits in first with a 92, Todd. That was a heavy fall for Maddie Mastro.
Yeah, that was definitely wasn't expected.
I just crunched my elbow. Fuck.
Just crunched her elbow.
Just crunched her elbow.
Well,
when you,
it happens.
Todd, when you're 19, you crunch your elbow. It's not as big a deal as when you're a little older and you crunch your elbow. Maddie Mastro, man, do you think she was thinking too much about the double crippler in that big
Probably.
move?
You know, and this is something that I was going to kind of start to try to work into my commentary here, was basically like, you know, when you've got a trick, as you see her right there landing a little bit, just hooking her edge.
Yeah.
When you have one trick that you don't do that often, you're not doing it for fun, you're doing it to win competitions, you kind of don't get a lot of reps on it. You don't get super comfortable with it. And you're used to only doing it in situations
when she's forced to.
When you're forced to. It's different. It kind of puts a different stigma on that trick. But there's that frontside 720 over the channel and slams hard.
Now, it's one thing to scorpion yesterday when you get the toe side hookup and you go face down in 3 feet of powder. It's another thing in the super pipe when you go down hard. And that's exactly what Maddie Mastro just did. So the final scores becomes a throwaway. Lu Xiaoyu, the leader after 2 runs with 1 run to go. But remember, Maddie Mastro will have the final say as the final athlete to drop in the women's competition. Lu Xiaoyu in a 92 is the leader with 1 run to go at the Women's Snowboard Modified Superpipe presented by Toyota. Can anyone catch her? With a run like this, it's going to be awfully hard. You're watching the Dew Tour, built by Mountain Dew. Beautiful day at Copper Mountain, Colorado. We are set for the 3rd and final go-about here at the Women's Snowboard Modified Superpipe presented by Toyota. Todd Harris, Todd Richard, Tina Dixon with you here. And I'll tell you what, Mother Nature must be a fan of the Modified Superpipe because the conditions are next to perfect. And Lu Xiaoyu, Todd, speaking of next to perfect, a 92 on run number 2 has set the standard.
Yeah, it's going to be tough, especially with that big fall from Maddie Mastro. But we still have a lot of talent here. They have one more shot at this to bring it home.
This is 13-year-old Sunny Alba making her first move.
Sunny Alba, backside air over the channel. And a big frontside 360, kind of ooping into that landing. A bit of a bobble on the ride out.
Todd, not a moral victory, but if you're 13 and you make a final at the Dew Tour, Yeah, that's saying something.
Yeah, it's a big deal. I mean, this is just the beginning for what I can imagine to be a long career. And as we were saying earlier at the top of the show, when we had that piece about Chloe Kim going to Princeton, it's kind of left the door open for some new talent to show up and blow up. So, you know, with facilities like they have here, Woodward at Copper and Woodward Mountain Parks, a youngster like this, a full dedicated season, she could come back next year and just be absolutely dominating.
She was a late add to the final and got the word last night that she was in.
There we go, Sunny Alba. You can just see a lot of style from this young rider. Unfortunately, coming up a little bit short on making that landing. You can just see all that fresh snow poofing up.
70.66 will be the best score for Sunny Alba as we move on to American Summer Fenton out of San Francisco, the 25-year-old goofy footer, looking for a big score here right now. She's had issues, Todd, and it's come in the exact same spot both runs. The last hit when she clips the deck.
I want to see Summer pull this run off. It's a strong run. It's got a lot of variety in it. Oh, and it's just not going to be with a full, complete top to bottom. You know, she had that backside 540 tail grab, and I like the switch backside 540 tail grab. Very technical, but unfortunately for Summer, going down on hit number 1 on run 3.
It's so tough for people to watch and they're saying, well, why is she pulling the plug so early? It's like, with this field, one small bobble, your score's not going to be anything you're going to want to hold on to.
You can't really get, but and then she gets it around. That one trick that caused her so much problems. On run number 3, she finally gets through it, gets that monkey off her back, but unfortunately a fall up top is really going to cost her.
So Summer Fenton out of the running for a podium position.
See right here on the first hit, winds up. Oh, actually this is going to be in the pipe. There's the air to fakie on the backside wall. More of a technical air to fakie because you kind of land on your heels, and there's that switch backside 540. Lands that. See it right here again, driving that shoulder down. Switch backside 540, very difficult move to do. Very technical. And then there's where she had her problems in all of her previous runs. Actually makes it through on that one. If she had done that on run number 1, I think we could have been seeing a very, very high score from her.
So Summer Fenton will have to hold on to her 31. Lu Xiaoyu still the leader with a 92. Maddie Master in second. And Zoe Kalapa sitting in third with the 80. Third and final runs here at the women's modified Superpipe. Zoe Kalapa now set to drop in, had a great opening run with that 80, came back, had a fall, 35, that gets thrown away, so now is her opportunity to try to move up the ladder. She's sitting in third place, Todd, which is a podium position, but a lot of talent still to come. To move up and be more comfortable, I think she's going to need something in the high 80s, low 90s. So now it's Zoe Kalapa making her first move.
Yeah, it's not really a comfortable third place finish right now. Frontside alley-oop over the channel, gets the grab. It's carrying that speed up into the hip feature. Nice lean air, good style on that. Now dropping into the traditional super pipe portion. Backside 5, staying upright, carrying that speed. Frontside 7, one more hit for Zoe. And a switch 540, almost goes down but holds onto it. So question being, is that going to give her a little bump up in her point total? She's sitting on an 80 right now. Improved on some of the rotations, but I think the overall impression from that run that gave her the 80 was a lot better.
A 90.01 would put her into second place and really force the hand of Maddie Master. Hit us one more time. I love that shot. Up and over the cameraman.
I do like that too, that alley-oop frontside air over the channel. There's that 720. Combos that into the switch 540. But kind of a little wild style.
She kind of had to muscle it around, didn't she?
And almost washes out in the flats. And the judges really, they pay close attention to that. If you're meaning to do the tricks you're trying, or you're just surviving the tricks that you're trying. And that was kind of a survival, like just locking in on those heels. So it's going to be interesting to see if she gets a little bump up in her score.
It's a 59, so she'll hold on to the 80 and stay in third for the time being. Brooke DeHunt now. First run was her best, a 75. She needs it better than an 80 to get into the podium position. And Brooke currently sitting in 5th place for the 14-year-old out of Calgary, Canada. Well, look at that view.
You can see that big kind of rut forming into the channel gap. Frontside 540 over the channel. Big bottom turn into the hip. Alley-oop. So nice combo up top.
Solid top part of the course.
Looking solid so far. Here we go into the back-to-back walls of the Superpipe. Get that frontside 900, not able to cleanly rotate that, and comes up short. So unfortunately, a strong upper section of her run in this modified Superpipe brought to you by Toyota, but not able to put the linkage together in the traditional back-to-back walls. But this was great. Nice frontside 540, gapping way out and over that channel. And then coming into the Superpipe portion. There's that bottom turn, hitting the frontside wall again. Alley-oop 360. And then it was into the traditional walls, but unfortunately going for that 900. She knew that she needed to bring something big. You want to see that. You want to see her go for it. But at such a young age, there's a lot more to come from her.
Just 14, so Brooke DeHunt of Canada will hold on to that first run score when she came out and laced a 75. Down to the final 4 competitors here at the Women's Modified Superpipe presented by Toyota. We'll kick things off with Haruna Matsumoto out of Sapporo, Japan. Fresh off a bronze medal at X Games. There you see the current standings, and Lu Xiaoyu leading the way with American Maddie Mastro currently sitting in second. So Matsumoto looking for something big, a much better second run score after a fall on run number 1 with a 19. She's sitting on a 72.33.
There's the gap, nice lean air. Trying to carry as much speed as she can to make it into the transition portion of that hip, and she does. Gets that frontside 360 alley-oop style. And then goes for the back-to-back linkage, frontside 900 on her feet, every attempt on that. She needs to get her hand on her board though if she wants to get the, going for the frontside 1080. Unfortunately goes down. But still, bringing it out.
Todd not messing around on that final hit. Huge respect for Haruna Matsumoto going for it on the last hit here of her final run.
I did not expect that at all. I thought that was just going to be a clean run, maybe.
Maybe a 9?
Yeah, well, no, she already had that 9 in. I did not expect her to go for another big rotation move. Lean air over the channel. You see her here setting her line on her heels. Rotates back up the pipe on the alley-oop style 360. And then goes for the frontside 1080. Almost pulls it.
Yep.
Came very, very close to putting down that frontside 1080.
It'll not be an improvement for her. She'll hold on to the 72.33, which has her in 6th. And then there were 3. Current leader, Lu Xiaoyu of China, sitting on a 92. Can she better it, Todd? Did you see anything in that second run that says, you know what, I think she can find a few more points?
Well, maybe she needs to go bigger because the combos are there. That combo off of the channel into that 540 over the hip, those are big points.
And so like on cue, Todd, the sun comes out just before she drops in. Lu Xiaoyu making her first move on the 3rd and final run.
Nice style, up and over the hip. Here comes that 540 again. Melon grab 5, a little bit bigger this run. Whoa! Tries to throw the brakes out, drops in switch. So switching it up here, this run, switch method air off the first hit.
And she's forced into a modified situation.
Wow, this is great. Changing her run up, alley-oop to end off that run. Modifying her run in the modified Superpipe.
She ad-libs after what happened there. That was Todd Harris-esque, losing control and just going wild style out of the deck. I don't know what happened there.
Wow, that was a great save. Watch the frontside 360, watch the front leg, gets that little poke out, showing the control. Then the big 540 up here. Now watch how she lands. She kind of gets hooked on that heel edge.
Now she's just
almost gets thrown off the course. Watch, pay very close attention to that heel edge. Lands, gets locked on that heel edge right there. Somehow handles it, throws the brakes on, barrels whoever is in there, throws it in switch, goes into a switch method, thinking on her feet. And here is the inverted 720.
That's not a bad ad-lib.
Oh, man. That was a great run. And then into an alley-oop. Personally for me, that was a better combo of tricks than the run that she had before. That switch method air is so subtle yet so technical to be able to do that.
It was like she was thrown into survival mode and then came up with the goods.
Jai killing it out there in this modified Superpipe.
So Lu Xiaoyu, it will not be an improvement, and she will sit on the 92 and wait. With 2 competitors to go, can they overtake her? Yeah, it was a great third run, an 86.66, but she's going to hold on to the 92 and see if that holds on. Final 2 athletes. It'll be Carol Castellet of Spain and then Maddie Mastro with the final say. Now, Carol's had issues. Remember, she dropped to 70.66, and then she came back with a 40.33, so she needs something big here.
Yeah, what she's going to have to do is she's going to have to clean up that upper section, carry a lot of speed. Now, you saw her, she fell on that last run trying to do the 360 into the hip. I'd love to see her just tone that one down and concentrate on her strengths, which is the back-to-back rotations in the traditional portion of this Superpipe. Let's see what happens here.
Sitting on a 77.3.
There's the alley-oop. She went down on this, her run previous. Will she just go more stock? She did right there. Nice prediction by me.
Straight air.
So then she goes into the pipe. Now this is her strength, the back-to-back rotations. Big frontside 900. Can she combo it into the backside 900? There's the wind-up. Backside 9, 2 900s. It's going to give the judges something to think about.
Did she do enough, Todd, as you say, leave a little meat on the bone there as Lu Xiaoyu appreciates what she just saw? I'm not sure that's better than a 92.
Yeah, I don't know if it is. And reason being is because Carol covers so much distance in the Superpipe portion that she may have left one hit still out there to be desired. Indy alley-oop over the channel. And then here's the method. Kicks that out. And then straight into the Superpipe portion. Back-to-back 900s. Big lean 900. Straight into the combo, you see the wind-up. Watch that front arm, drives it down to initiate the rotation. Gets the melon grab, holds on to it a little bit, comes around. And you see, watch how much travel distance she has on these back-to-back 9s. Far down the pipe. Comes around on this 9. Was there room for one more hit? Maybe. The judges may be looking at that like, well, maybe you opted out of the pipe early. It's going to be a big score. It's going to bump Zoe off of the podium. Where will it put her, though?
Carol was sitting on a 77.33, and remember her second run, she fell at a 15. Lu Xiaoyu leads it with a 92. To get on the podium, she needs better than an 80. Here it comes, 81.66. So Carol Castellet jumps into third place.
The reason being, she left that one hit wide open. If she had gotten one more hit, could have been a different story.
So Lu Xiaoyu knows at very least she will finish in second. Carol Castellet has secured her spot in third, and it all comes down to this. Maddie Mastro dropped a 90 on her first run, crashed on the first hit on her second run, and now she's having her hand literally, Todd, forced by Lu Xiaoyu and the 92.
Once again, we saw last run, she went down on the first hit.
What'd she say? She crunched her elbow?
Yeah, just crunched her elbow a little. I have a feeling she's going to go for stock typical over the channel and really concentrate on doubling up on that second hit in the traditional back-to-back wall section.
So here we go, American Maddie Mastro with the final run in the women's snowboard modified Superpipe presented by Toyota. Mastro controls it right here. She puts down a 92.01 or better. She takes the win. If she doesn't, it's Lu Xiaoyu. Maddie Mastro making her first move.
Crippler up and over and washes out.
So it will be Lu Xiaoyu taking the win, Carol Castellet finishing in third, and Maddie Mastro could not exercise the demon on that first hit.
Bummer for Maddie Mastro. Wanted to see her be able to open up, but big congratulations for Lu Xiaoyu's interpretation. So basically, Harris, this is a Lu Xiaoyu right here. Thank you. I'll be here all weekend.
Todd Richards with the comment of the day as Lu Xiaoyu gets the win at the Dew Tour. The 27-year-old out of Secret Garden, China. Todd, she came out hot. She dropped an 87.66 on her first run, then backed it up with a 92. And then when she was forced into really ad-libbing mode, she drops an 86.66. But it is Lu Xiaoyu, clearly the top rider in the pipe today, with Maddie Mastro finishing in second, Carol Castellet finishing in third.
I guess we're back.
Hugs all the way around on a beautiful day at Dew Tour 2020. Lu Xiaoyu, the #1 seed, the #1 athlete. She claims it with a 92. Maddie Mastro finishes in second, and Carol Castellet finishes in third on the podium. We will step aside. We'll be right back to beautiful Copper Mountain. You're watching the Dew Tour, built by Mountain Dew. At the conclusion of an amazing women's snowboard modified Superpipe presented by Toyota, it's Lu Xiaoyu on top with a 92. Maddie Mastro comes in second with a 90, and Carol Castellet by way of her third and final run, an 81.66. Todd, no question about it, Lu Xiaoyu came out and won this competition.
Yeah, she was in the driver's seat here. Just by virtue of this combo up top, I think it really, put the nail in the coffin for the other competitors. Gets that 540, then combos that into some back-to-back tricks with huge style, big out of the pipe, made it really easy for the judges to reward her with the win here today.
Lu Xiaoyu, 27 years of age, out of Secret Garden, China, is now standing by with Tina Dixon.
Yeah, thanks, Todd and Jiayu. 3 completely different runs. What was the process like for you to put your run together out here today?
I think I just got really exciting this morning because yesterday after powder day, and then today we're doing like dew tour, competitions, and all the filters just make me exciting. So I would just schedule like step by step, and then do like the most style fun I can do. And then even like the second run, the second filter, I did the 5 or 7 you call. I never did that in the training. I would just feel like, I feel like that. I'm just gonna do it.
Having to adapt, and that's one of these. What's a part of this of what this event is about. You've won this event before. What does it mean to win this again?
It means a lot. Like last time was a couple years ago, and then this year I won like another dew tour gold medal. I felt like, thanks to dew tour.
Big congratulations! What a performance!
Thank you so much.
All right, Todd.
Thank you, Tina, and once again, congratulations to Lu Jiayu. A 92 gets the win at the 2020 Dew Tour, built by Mountain Dew. And I can confirm nor deny that Lu Jiayu is now trending on Twitter because of Todd Richards giving her that new moniker.
You're welcome, world.
The run was amazing, but let's talk about the save she had on that second or third run where she just like went wild style.
Well, you could see it as she kind of came off that hip feature, came off on her heels, landed, but kind of got bumped by some of that soft snow, locked onto her heel edge, started to head towards the fence, had to counter correct, threw the brakes on, almost flew into the 22-foot deep Superpipe, somehow gets it together, drops in switch method. She was in the driver's seat today. And unfortunately for Maddie Mastro, I mean, she really wanted to do that double. It probably got in her head, as I was saying in the broadcast, when you have one trick and you know that trick can potentially put you on the podium, you tend to concentrate on that. You concentrate on the outcome instead of what it takes to get there.
Yeah, no question about it, Maddie Mastro, but she laid down a 90 on run number 1, so it took a lot of pressure off her. She ends up in second place as Lu Jiayu 92. No one could touch it. Carol Castellet, though, had problems on run 1, and then on run 2, she falls, only gets a 15, and then comes back and has the wherewithal to get on the podium.
I'm always secretly rooting for Carol Castellet because just in the past, we've seen her come in. She goes hard. She comes in to go big stylish airs, goes to those rotations. Sometimes she remembers where she is at the end of the competition. Sometimes she doesn't. She goes for it. But that's what snowboarding is all about, putting it all on the line. Carol, the only reason I think she didn't jump up a little higher in the scoring,
let's hear it for your third place finisher,
one hit left
Carol
on the bone.
Castellet. Buen trabajo.
Carol Castellet getting her third place trophy as we listen in with DC.
Loud and proud for Maddie Mastro.
Maddie Mastro, Todd, laid down that 90
always stylish
on the
and always
first
a
run.
pleasure to watch ride. One more time, make some noise for Maddie Mastro, second place.
Coming back from that hard slam.
And your champion out here
self-diagnosed, crunched my elbow.
2020 Women's Snowboard Modified Pipe capturing her second Dew title. Let's hear it for Jiayu Lu.
Lu Jiayu of China, what a showing. As Tina said, her second Dew Tour win, coming off some big performances.
Letting it ride with the style and finesse. Let's hear it for your champion.
And Todd, you got to think looking forward to 2022 and the Olympics coming to her hometown, her home mountain of Secret Garden. She's got to be one of the favorites.
Yeah, absolutely. What a weekend for her. Yesterday, Way Steep Pow. Today, going home with the overall here in the Modified Superpipe, brought to you by Toyota. It's going to be a nice flight home.
Did she tell Tina that the secret to her win today was the POW day yesterday?
Yeah, well, that's known.
It makes everything better.
It does.
All the athletes going through now, the media, the interviews, and for Lu Jiayu, a big win here at Copper Mountain, the 2020 Dew Tour champion in the Women's Snowboard Modified Superpipe, presented by Toyota. What a pleasure to watch her ride, especially that second run when she laid down the 92, and that came right after Maddie had really dropped the hammer on run 1 and put down a 90.
Go fast, go big, we're not going to hold.
Yeah, putting it together. There's a lot more to come from her as she kind of lets snowboarding develop away from the Chinese national team, just discovering it. You know, it's not all about competition.
Right.
POW. POW is the basis of all fun in snowboarding.
The common denominator being POW. Todd, I'm going to have you look into your crystal ball since you did so well today calling tricks before they actually happened. The matchup between Lu Jiayu and a one-year rested Chloe Kim. Go.
Well, that's going to be a real hard one. We're just going to have to wait and see what happens when we go to the Olympics in 2022. 2022.
So the final result from the women's snowboard modified Superpipe presented by Toyota. Lu Xiaoyu of China gets a 92, gets the win. Maddie Mastro in second, Carol Castellet in third. We can talk about Zoe Klopas, dropped an 80 on her first run lady to Detroit. And then we can talk about Sunny Alba, get used to that name, and Brooke DeHunt, 13 and 14 respectively in the final here at Dew Tour.
See, I think that
under perfect conditions, here's how it shook down in the women's snowboard modified Superpipe presented by Toyota, with some heavy hitters dropping some big tricks early and often.
That's right. We started off with Maddie Mastro having an amazing run. Big combos up top in the modified Superpipe, gapping over those channels, and then really putting the style and the height here into the traditional back-to-back portion of the Superpipe. Big crippler right there, and ending off that run. And then unfortunately on run number 2, comes into an inverted 720 over the channel, clips that nose and goes down hard, leaving the door open for this rider right here. Xiaoyu Lu, coming out of China, putting together a perfect combo of tricks, 540 over the hip, and then straight into some big combos in the Superpipe, and that would get her a massive score that would stick for the rest of the competition.
The rest of the field trying to track down Lu Xiaoyu and the 92. No one could top that score, Todd. The creativity, the progression, the height that she was able to throw down. Carol Castellet, Maddie Mastro tried as hard as they could, unable to get to Lu Xiaoyu's level. In the end, it was Lu Xiaoyu that would walk away with the title here as 2020 Dew Tour champion. So the podium with Lu Xiaoyu on top, Maddie Mastro in second, Carol Castellet in third, Todd, as we look forward to 2022 and the Olympic Games in Beijing.
Well, I think there's a massive, massive hole right now in women's Superpipe competition. And Jai coming in and filling that right now as far as technical riding, putting it together, and especially with the future of modified Superpipe, she's going to be the one to beat.
Lu Xiaoyu, Maddie Mastro, and Carol Castellet sitting on top of the podium at the women's modified Superpipe. Much more of the Dew Tour when we return to Copper Mountain.
Dew Tour is brought to you by Mountain Dew. Do the Dew. Toyota. Let's go places. Circle K. Take it easy. Bumble. Make the first move.